here just modifying a few electronics I found in my garage to try and make them be able to mind control everyone over at Six Flags Corporation, so that way they can actually give Magic Mountain the Giga that all the coaster enthusiasts want them to get. While I proved in my last video that that's probably not going to happen, there's always radioactive signals. Do I actually know what I'm doing? No. However, they didn't know what they were doing when they built Top Thrill Dragster, and look at where that got us. So, obviously, this is going to go 100% well with just a bit of a swing, and...
Howdy and hello everyone, I'm Ray the Coaster Critic and you're the viewer, and today we will be answering the one, the only, the question of how can Magic Mountain actually get a Giga if they actually decide to get a Giga, which is very unlikely because we all saw how that experiment I tried to do turned out.
Now, of course, when I actually did do a video telling everyone that whatever's going in the Golden Bear plot of land most likely won't be a Giga, well, I haven't seen the response to that video yet, but I'm gonna assume that it was horrible, so I'm also just sort of making this video in advance so that way I don't lose all my credibility for like the 50th time.
So, let's look at my thought process, just like the last video. I'm not going to go over the whole speech about how Magic Mountain has essentially every single coaster on this planet except for a Giga Coaster, because I already did that speech in the last video, and you can just go and watch the last video. In fact, it's a really good idea. You should really go and watch the last video, especially if you want context for that beginning part. But anyway, yeah, my thought process here is essentially, we want a Giga, let's give Magic Mountain a Giga. Now, I would go through all in depth about this plot I'm choosing and how it's perfect for a Giga Coaster, but I feel like Magic Mountain me can sum up the spot, why it is necessary to put it in this spot, and a good example of what is currently in its place and why we should remove it.
This is Viper, the aerodynamics mega looper that barely gets a line anymore, and I'm about to showcase you why. Or I'm not going to showcase you why, but I'm going to showcase how much of not a line it gets. So here we go, walking up the ramp. So far so good. By so far so good, I mean so far it's empty as hell. Walking up, still walking. Still walking. No, wait, let's ride more. Flash pass ad. This is just casually open, empty queue house. Walking up again. Still walking. Still walking. Empty station building. This is pitiful. This really is pitiful.
So yeah, if you couldn't tell from that part right there, this ride is going to be going in the Viper plot of land, removing Viper, which, well, yes, it is a big, massive, red aerodynamics mega looper. You want to know what else is big and massive? That empty queue space. So, very obviously, while yes, this ride is obviously staying for a reason I still can't figure out yet, Magic Mountain definitely will not be keeping this thing for too long. And once they do remove it, this plot is prime real estate for something massive. And with careful and proper use of the land around it, I think we can do this properly. While yes, I did very obviously sum up this ride is going in the Viper plot of land, let me add something else to that. The back area of the park, near Roaring Rapids, and literally just Roaring Rapids, because other than that, there's nothing else there, is basically 100% unused. There's an access pathway, but if you put a Giga Coaster through here, that access pathway can very easily be rearranged to wrap around the Giga Coaster, and the Giga Coaster can be conformed so that way it doesn't mess with Roaring Rapids. Now, we could just remove Roaring Rapids, which has been closed 75% of the time recently, but it seems like Magic Mountain is insistent on keeping this thing, so we're just going to pretend they're going to keep it. So, there's our plot of land. Now let's discuss manufacture. The manufacturer of this ride, I have no idea. I'm going to be completely honest with you right here. essentially what I did is I just went mock, because as we all know, when in doubt, mock rides. Well, yes, mock is going to be expensive as hell, and they never done a Giga Coaster. I don't know how the new company feels about Intamin. B&M is going to be way too expensive, and with some of the elements this thing needs to perform to fit into space, B&M doesn't do those, and with how a B&M Giga Coaster is, that wouldn't necessarily work. So, we've got Intamin's out, RMC, we've already got Wonder Woman in the same park, so that wouldn't really work. Really, the only other option on the table here is mock. Like, Vekoma is a maybe, and if it is Vekoma, then I could see this. But for the time being, I'm just going to say mock. Yes, I know I've done 2 videos where I do mock in the same thing, but like, listen, mock is just a good company, okay? Can you blame me? I'm just going to skip the naming part. Let's be honest, with where this ride is, we have no idea what the hell this thing could be called. It could be called literally anything. So, yeah, let's just hope they don't name it something horrible, and, yeah. There's nothing really to go with the name here, so we're just gonna skip that segment. And, yeah, that's all I have to say about the planning for the ride. I very obviously already made this thing in No Limits 2, so let's take a look at the POV of this brand new Giga Coaster for Magic Mountain. And there you have it. There is Magic Mountain's long-awaited Giga Coaster, or at least what it would look like in terms of how I designed it in No Limits 2. Now, a few other things I'd like to mention about this ride. The color scheme I decided would just be an homage to Viper with red track, but now green supports. And I did have a thought about possibly having an upcharge attraction being a spinning car as the last car, which a spinning car on this ride would be absolutely insane, which I feel like Magic Mountain could do a lot with that. Also, this ride ended up having the world's highest inversion at 239 feet. That is the first inversion of the ride, obviously. So yeah, this ride would actually be a record breaker. It would also be the world's tallest Giga Coaster, technically, at 331 feet, have the world's tallest lift hill simultaneously, and would just be the world's tallest mock, but no one really cares about that one. So anyway, that's gonna be about it for this video. This is actually the first end of a season I'm doing since, like, Season 1. It's Season 5. All the other seasons were because I died for so long that essentially I just decided it's better off if I just skip to the next season. So, you're finally getting treated to a season finale here, and I thought, what better than to make it a video that people would most likely be wanting from me. Now, for Season 6, I don't necessarily have too many plans. However, I will say something very special is coming after Season 6. What that is, you don't get to know. But you will find out in spring-ish, whenever Season 6 ends. There are a few other things that I have planned, but they're a bit too average to go over in a video like this. So, in the meantime, that's all I have to say. So, I was Ray the Coaster Critic, you were the viewer, and I'll see you in the future. Goodbye. Okay, so, fall's correct. I've done everything right. I've followed the manual. I should now have something for me to use here. I did get this off the internet. I may have failed at making a mind control thing. However, I don't necessarily trust my ability to do something this advanced, but hey, once again, they didn't know what they were doing when they built Top Throw Dragster, so surely, at the flip of this switch, I should get exactly what I want to hear out of this. So, in my opinion, there's nothing more left for me to do.
Hello. It's nice to meet you. I'm, or at least I think I am, named